Welcome back to this edition of Grizzlies Daily. I'm your host, Melek, and I did tell y'all the background was going to be different. So bear with me on the lighting and a few things like that. I'm working to still get that kind of adjusted up until the end of the week. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like I said, I am in Atlanta for the NABJ conference. So, I'll be here up until Friday, and then by Monday, y'all will probably see me back in Memphis by then. So appreciate y'all for tuning in to this, special edition. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. And if you listen to us on other platforms, make sure you give us a follow and a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Really helps the channel grow further. So let's get straight into it. We actually got a good amount of news going on. The NBA schedule as of today, I believe, Thursday, the full schedule is supposed to be released. So we'll definitely talk about that in the next video. But part of our schedule was actually released. And granted, I'm kind of surprised because, being real, I didn't expect much for the Grizzlies, national televised wise. So kind of glad that we got some news at least regarding that. So the first bit of news is the fact the Grizzlies are back on the MLK Day schedule. The Rockets will face the Grizzlies here in Memphis at 7:30. The game will be on NBC and Peacock. Kind of interested to see that we actually have the prime time slot for MLK Day, which is really interesting because obviously last year we didn't quite have a game on the schedule because we were in Europe. So the fact that we're now in the prime time slot, I don't think that's ever, at least in my memory, I don't think that's ever happened before. I think the latest was like a 5 o'clock game or something. But for us at a prime time slot on MLK Day, that's definitely something that I'm kind of interested in. Really should be a game, seeing KD and the Rockets, their front court against our front court. Definitely something worth looking at. Definitely see how we can fare against a division opponent. Obviously, this would be closer towards an all-star break more than anything, but it's still a good test. So I'm definitely looking forward to a matchup like that. A lot of good things to look forward to. Not really too much I can say about it right now, but it's definitely a good test for the Grizzlies. Yeah, and MLK Day is a game. It's a day where usually the Grizzlies, it's just in their franchise, have always known to really play a really good game, entertaining game. So definitely one that I will mark on the calendar to try to attend because, it's a great spectacle, great overall day. So really looking forward to doing that. But like I said, the full schedule will come out later today at the time of this recording when y'all are seeing it. So definitely worth talking about in the next video, and I'll definitely bring that to y'all once we get the information. Now, some more information we did get regarding the schedule. The Grizzlies, NBA Cup groups did come out. The schedules were released as well. The Grizzlies are in Group B of the NBA Cup, the West, of course. In this group, I can't lie, it is pretty stacked. This group is stacked. So first Cup game would be November 6th at home against the Oklahoma City Thunder at 7 o'clock. Then the next week on the 13th, they would play the Pelicans at 7 on the road. And then on November 25th, it says that we will be playing the Clippers at home at 7 o'clock. And then to wrap things up in the group, it'll be the 27th of November against the Minnesota Timberwolves on the road at 7:30. So honestly, really, really interesting group. Obviously the two teams that really stand out to me are the Thunder and the Timberwolves. Those are probably the best two teams out of this group. I would put the Clippers in that category, but honestly, I don't really know what the Clippers are right now because they technically still have Kawhi on the roster, but there's no telling if he's still going to be on there or not. It's all a mess. But even with that, I still say the Thunder and the Timberwolves are the two biggest teams come from this group. But the Grizzlies are known to kind of be a bit of a surprise in the NBA Cup, especially last year. I believe we weren't far from qualifying into the knockout round, I believe. Or at least qualifying out of the knockout round. We wasn't far from it at all. And honestly, I think this team could, in a way, be capable of doing it again. It's just, it's going to be a little tougher. I cannot lie. It's going to be a little tougher. Playing these teams right now is going to be really, really tough. But honestly, that's not a bad thing. I'd rather this team really have tough tests going into year one. It helps them prepare early instead of, kind of sugarcoating their way into it. As early as you can get those tough tests, I think that's really what's going to benefit this team over the course of the season, especially in year one. That way, going into year two, they kind of close in on that mentality of what works, what doesn't work, things like that, and what they need to do to, beat a contending team or things like that. So it's definitely something worth noting for sure, and it's definitely something that I'm going to be paying attention to because, I'll be honest, looking at the schedule, the Pelicans, not really too worried about that. Clippers, not really worried about that either. The Thunder, definitely watching that, and then the Timberwolves, of course, definitely watching that as well. So those are really the main games that really just stick out to me. But if this team can make a good run similar to last year, where we were close but just quite weren't there, granted because of a blown lead to the Lakers that essentially started all the turmoil. I'm not gonna get into that, but outside of that game, we actually could have been in it last year, but maybe this year, we get a little bit of a surprise. I actually been seeing a lot of people talk about this team and on a national level, and a lot of people are actually looking forward to it, especially from a league pass perspective. So definitely looking forward to it. Now, as far as where the games are going to be shown locally, I actually have no idea. I truly have no idea where the games are going to be broadcasted because I believe FanDuel Sports, I don't know the whole deal with them or things like that. I don't know what's going to be the alternative or anything, but we'll just have to wait and see close to the season, and hopefully we figure out some things. Now, the next topic, I wasn't really going to talk about this. I really wasn't. But it's worth talking about because I actually got asked this while I was eating breakfast at my hotel. Somebody asked me my thoughts on the Ja Morant trade. And usually, I know I said I really wouldn't be talking about it as much, but this actually kind of really brought a good topic up for me. Did the Grizzlies wait too late to trade Ja? And I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The fact that the deal is done, I feel like I could say this. Yes, the Grizzlies waited too late to trade Ja. And the reason for that is because, in a way, the way I look at it, if last year doesn't happen, if the turmoil between Izalo and, the front office and Ja doesn't happen, how many games did he play last year? 20. If that doesn't happen, you get a much bigger market. You get a much bigger market for Ja compared to certain players because that was the main talk when it came to guys like LaMelo, Trae Young, that whole time point. That whole time period, I should say. So it's definitely something that is kind of interesting to say the least because I think, if Ja Morant doesn't play last year, then, hey, the market is, well, let me say this. If Ja Morant isn't on the Grizzlies last year, the market is actually very much better for him. We don't have the turmoil at the trade deadline. We don't have the exploring offers. I honestly think probably the things could be better under wraps because it wouldn't be out to the media and things could have been done cordially. I think that's something that something that could have been done better if he was traded earlier. Now, this is not me saying that I wish Ja was traded earlier. I just think if he was traded earlier, your chances of getting a first round pick a lot better than what they was at the time. You probably end up with slightly better talent. You just do. But overall, I mean, look, the team did what they could. I can't really, be like, oh, whoa, this or that. Should have tried to make it work. I wanted it to work, but being honest, with the new direction that we are in, I can't be too mad because at least we have a solid foundation going forward. If we just had no direction after trading Ja, then I'd be very concerned, truly concerned. But it looks like, Kleiman did set this team up in a good direction. It's just a matter of figuring out if the team works and, more importantly, if Izalo is good enough to coach this team. Simple as that. So those are questions that we're going to figure out, but that was just something I had thought about. And honestly, it's kind of been in the back of my head seeing everything. And like I said, at the end of the day, really hope it works out for Ja. I really hope he gets back to that all-star level. But, hey, it is what it is. It's a business. Things happen, so I'm not going to dwell on the past too much. Now, real quick before we get out of here, because I do want to keep this kind of short, Do want to read a few of y'all's comments because y'all do leave a lot of support for the channel, so really appreciate y'all for that. First comment right here did talk about last year's. We missed the Kings Day for everything. Hopefully we get it back. Well, we did get it back. We got it back. We're playing the Rockets, and obviously, like I said, the reason we didn't have a Martin Luther King Day game last year was because we were in Europe playing in Germany and London against the Magic. So those are really the only reasons. Other than that, we had no other reason. Now, next comment right here says, I think that Jalen and Cam will work very well together on the court as well as off the court. This is in regards to Jalen Wells and Cam Boozer. Yeah, I think they get along very well. As far as the court, I think you got two people who are very good at communicating defensively and offensively. So it's definitely something that is going to be very good seeing on the court. So definitely looking forward to that. Jalen Wells is kind of the right voice for this team, so I think him and Cam are going to mesh very well when it comes down to that category. And then the last comment right here says, I would like it if we could trade one of our 2027 first for a 2028 first, because everyone seems to be hyping that draft up. We gave the Trailblazers Orlando's 2028 first round pick when we moved up to get Coward. Rockets and Grizzlies, MLK Day exclusively on Peacock should be good. Other potential nationally broadcast games I'd be looking for: Trailblazers versus Grizzlies, yeah. Grizzlies versus Bulls, of course. Jazz versus Grizzlies, of course. And then Grizzlies versus Wizards. Yeah. Any matchup involving the top lottery picks, definitely going to be notable. Ja's return definitely going to be something worth watching. I think everybody's going to be watching that probably. And as far as the picks go, I mean, I'm not too crazy about it because, being real, I don't even know how the 2028 draft is going to look. So I can't really, be like, oh, we should have did this and that. Because, I mean, being real, in this next draft, can we confidently say, hey, we're in a desperate need to trade up for a certain prospect, at least for right now? Obviously, in hindsight, later down the line, if we're saying that, then absolutely. But I mean, right now, I'm not really too pressed about it. As the year go by, then I think we can definitely have that conversation. But as far as our picks go, I think we're still in a good spot. Don't think it's something that we just need to panic or absolutely try to get done. So, yeah, I think it's something that you just kind of figure out as the year goes by. But that's going to wrap it this edition of Grizzlies Daily. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like I said, tomorrow is, not tomorrow. Today is the full schedule release for all NBA teams. So expect tomorrow's video to really just be based on the schedule, unless I just have something else kind of in mind, but definitely going to be talking about the schedule in tomorrow's video. So definitely be on the lookout for that. So if you want to be on the lookout for that, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you get notified when that video comes out. And make sure to like and comment. I'd love to hear y'all thoughts as well as y'all support the channel, because y'all don't have to tune into these videos. And if you're listening to us out other platforms like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you guys follow and leave a 5-star review and let us know where you're watching from. Definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I will see y'all in tomorrow's video. Peace.